Let's take a trip down memory lane. There was a time when the Orlando Magic used to dominate the league with players like Shaq, then later Tracy McGrady, and lastly Dwight Howard. It was safe to say that they were always a threat in the late 90s and 2000s. However, for the past few years, they've fallen off their high ladder. But now, it seems like they're finally back. Hello and welcome back to NBA Swish. Today we'll be talking about how the Orlando Magic is shocking the world right now. I know what you all must be thinking. How exactly are they doing that? How have they managed to exceed everyone's expectations? Well, stick around till the end as we answer these questions and more, as we delve into the various intricacies surrounding the rebuilding of a once amazing team. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into how the Orlando Magic are shocking the NBA world, let us dip into their rich history. The Magic were honestly always destined to be a great team. They were formed as an expansion franchise in 1989, and they were quick to get off the mark and make a name for themselves. Just a few years into their emergence into the league, the Magic, despite their youth, made it to the NBA Finals in 1995. They did this with the likes of Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway. This dynamic duo catapulted the Magic to fame, enthralling spectators with their thrilling skills. It really was a fun time to be a Magic fan at the time. It's sad they didn't go on to win a championship despite winning the conference title. The Magic continued this dominance for the next few years. They won back-to-back division titles in 1996 after their conference winning season the previous year. However, a big reason for this early dominance was their leading man, Shaq, as the first overall pick in the 1992 NBA draft. I think we all know how Shaq was a generational talent, and even as a rookie, Shaq was a player any defense would fear. It's no wonder he was named NBA Rookie of the Year, foreshadowing his illustrious career. And in 1996, he and Penny Hardaway led the Magic to a franchise-best 60-win season. That record still stands today. Or does it? Because it looks like it could be broken this season. But as we all know, Shaq left for the Lakers, and the rest is history. While he and Kobe both made history together, the Magic slowly deteriorated into a mid-table team. But you can't tame a beast for long, and finally, in 2009, the team was back in full swing. Like the last team, their team this time was also led by a big player, Dwight Howard, who dominated in the post. Just like Shaq helped win in the conference finals, Howard did the same in 2009. However, again, like last time, they also lost the championship at the end. Despite falling short of the championship, their journey cemented them as an Eastern Conference powerhouse. After this, the team again slowly deteriorated, and after a few years, it looked like a shadow of what it once was. Soon, they had established their reputation as a mid-table team that had limited title aspirations. They couldn't attract any star players and relied heavily on draft picks to help them change their fortunes. And well, in recent years, the Magic have seen the emergence of young talents like Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac, promising a bright future. But still, though, they hadn't been able to help them as much. And as you can imagine, the Magic had started to drop quite low in the standings, enabling them high draft picks. That ultimately became the main reason behind their success this season. For the past 3 seasons, the Magic have quietly been building something special. From choosing the right draft picks to setting up the perfect young team that complements each other, it's safe to say that the Magic have played their cards right. While they may not have made the playoffs last season, the potential of this young squad became evident. Competitive in nearly every game, they even managed to beat the Boston Celtics, the same team that people perceived as the favorites to win the championship this season. So why isn't this team getting the attention it deserves? Trust me, this is the team to watch this season. But their insane transformation wasn't something they achieved overnight. Last season, the spotlight was on the remarkable performance of Paulo Benero, the reigning #1 overall pick. I still remember the calls for Chet Holmgren to be the #1 pick ahead of Benero, and it seemed that he was the better player too, with his insane height and mobility. And well, we all know how things have turned out. The Magic, much to everyone's surprise, opted for Benero as the #1 pick. Holmgren went to OKC, got injured, and remained sidelined for the whole season. Benero, on the other hand, absolutely dominated, winning the Rookie of the Year by a mile. Now you tell me which decision was better. It's decisions like these that have helped the Magic fight back to earn their former glory days. But hear me out real quick. A big reason for the shock that the Magic have caused in the league is that no one knew they were improving. Let's take Benero for example. Despite his historic season, he had 0 nationally televised games. And well, let's compare that to this year and Victor Wembanyama, who was also the #1 pick, and he already has 17 nationally televised games. It's clear that the Magic are not getting the recognition they merit. I guess the media plays a big role in public perception. That being said, I am sure proper NBA fans would not be shocked by this sudden change. And so now that we know that everyone has been shocked by the Magic, since they had no idea this was even coming, now let's shift our focus to on the court. The Orlando Magic are turning heads with their string of results. As of the recording of this video, the Magic are currently second in the Eastern Conference with a record of of 12-5, just one game behind the Celtics and tied with the Bucks and 76ers. To say that anyone could have seen that coming would be an absolute lie. It's an amazing start to the season for a team that hasn't played in the playoffs for 3 years now, and that begs the question, how have they managed this? Well, it all boils down to their exceptional defense. It's not just great, it's the best in the league. Currently holding the top-rated defense in the NBA, they rank in the top 3 in almost every defensive category. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The Orlando Magic are a defensive powerhouse. It's been the defining factor in many of their games. The players have bought into Coach Mosley's defensive philosophy, creating a contagious energy that's evident every time they hit the court. You know what they say, offense wins you games, and defense wins you titles. While I doubt the Magic will win the championship this year with this young of a team, you never know what they could achieve. Now let's take a look at the pieces to understand how they've played so well this season. Their front court is a force to be reckoned with. With a large and mobile squad, players such as Franz Wagner, Paulo Benero, and Goga Bitadze, the impressive replacement for an injured Wendell Carter Jr., cause havoc for opponents. It's crazy how things have changed with their old set of players, along with the excellent recruits. With Goga averaging 2 blocks per game as a starter, rim protection is an important aspect of their defense. Moreover, players like Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac, for example, make important contributions as well. Suggs, in particular, has been a defensive standout, frustrating the facilitators and point guards of rival teams. The team literally defends like they are defending for their life. Coach Mosley surely kept them working overtime with defense. But it's not just about defense now, is it? Because many big teams have struggled a little this season due to injuries. And how do you combat this? Squad depth. And that is exactly what the Magic have. We've already discussed how even with their starting center, Wendell Carter Jr., sidelined due to injury, Goga has stepped up admirably. It's almost like their replacement players are doing even better than their starters. It's pretty obvious that this team isn't afraid to rely on its second unit for crucial points. In fact, 6 or 7 players are averaging double figures. It just goes to show you how much more of a balanced team they really are, rather than 1 or 2 star players carrying the brunt of the scoring. But speaking of star players, let's talk about their main power duo, Wagner and Benero. Both might be young, but they are still evolving into consistent scorers. And the stats back them up. Benero averaging almost 20 points per game with impressive efficiency, and Wagner putting up 19 points per game. They are already making significant contributions. These are crazy numbers. And while I had said that the Magic is more of a balanced team, it does feel like they wouldn't be at the level they are right now without Benero and Wagner. The Orlando Magic's blend of stifling defense, impressive depth, and emerging young talent is catching the attention of NBA fans. With their current level of play, they're destined for the spotlight they deserve. And while they might not win the championship this year, we can absolutely say that the future looks bright for the Orlando Magic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.